Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on NTV At One. My name is Gladys Gachanja. Now, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino is currently in police custody after he was arrested over a shooting incident at a club in Kilimani area here in Nairobi, which left one person with serious injuries. Now, confirming the incident, a Directorate of Criminal Investigations officer said detectives based at the Kilimani police station arrested the MP. It is alleged that around 7 a.m., the Member of Parliament was indeed involved in the shooting incident at B Club located along Galana Road in Kilimani. This was after he argued with Felix Orinda, a DJ in the club, where he shot him around the neck. The victim was rushed to Nairobi Hospital in serious condition by the management of the club for treatment. Investigations are still going on and Babu will continue to be detained at the station. Now, the reason for the thief has not yet been established, and the firearm is yet to be recovered.
No, but explain to me. Why?
With attempted murder. Daily Nation has spoken to the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, George Kinoti, who says Babu Owino wanted to kill the disc jockey. Kinoti also says Owino will be taken to court after processing. Now, to put this story into perspective, we are now joined by Vincent Oduor at the Kilimani police station. Vincent, we understand that the weapon used in the incident is yet to be recovered?
What I can tell you, let me just start from where I am right now. I'm along Galana Road, where the scene of crime is located. To be specific, it happened in what is called Galana Plaza, where B Club is located, and that is where the incident is. The incident is said to have happened. To be specific, B Club, it has been cordoned off, and also there's another personal car that was used by the Member of Parliament yesterday as he was having a good time here. That car is still at the parking lot, and it has been cordoned off, and therefore right now B Club, which is located on the first floor of Galana Plaza, is treated as a scene of crime. And what the police officers, according to the OCPD, Lucas Ogara, said that they have been able to recover the firearm that belongs to the MP Babu Owino, and that is what is now in their custody. And the OCPD said that they've established that, the bullet was discharged from the firearm that is owned by the legislator. But, we also spoke to Babu Owino's lawyer, Cliff Ombeta, and the way they describe this incident, there are different angles on really what happened inside B Club this fateful morning, because his lawyer argues that there was a person who approached Babu Owino while inside the club, and then he claims that he acted in a way that Babu Owino did not expect, and therefore, in the process of self-defense, then a bullet was discharged from his firearm, and this is something that they are treating as the lawyer says they are treating as something that happened due to self-defense, because he's saying that the Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino, has been fearing for his life since November last year, and he had even reported the case at a Parliament police station. And ever since November last year, he has been apprehensive about his own life, and therefore when somebody approached him when he thought he was a friend and acted in a weird manner, that is when now a bullet was dislodged from his firearm. Right now, the firearm is at Kilimani police station, DCI's office. But I left Kilimani police station at around 30 minutes ago, and the Babu Owino had not yet recorded any statement. And what we know that his lawyers is there, and he'll be recording his statement any moment from now, and then we'll be able to get to see whether he will be allowed to leave the police station or he will not. because I have heard that also the DCI are also on the case. But while speaking to us, the OCPD, Kilimani OCPD, Lucas Ogara, said that this is something they are treating as an assault. It's not even something to do with murder, because he's saying the person who was incidentally shot during that incident right now is at Nairobi Hospital, and according to the OCPD, the victim is in a stable condition, and therefore they are treating the incident or the case as a serious assault and not anything to do with murder. And therefore, right now, the police are saying they are continuing the investigations. A number of them visited Galana Plaza in the morning, and a number of them also visited B Club to really try and establish really what has transpired. But we are being told that they haven't been able to secure the cartridges from the scene of crime. And the only thing they have is the gun. And they have said that gun belongs to Babu Owino, and they are saying that the gun is licensed, and he is a licensed owner as far as the gun is concerned. What we know, a lot will happen. We know even the National Gun Owners Association, we know they are going to speak today about the incident, and there are a number of things that are really going to transpire today as we follow this case. What I can just tell you, when I was at the Kilimani police station, is I saw a number of legislators who came to really give Babu Owino moral support. For instance, I saw Alego Osonga, member of parliament, Samuel Tande, who was there, but together with his lawyers, but I've not been able to see any other legislators at the Kilimani police station. And therefore, right now, I just want to go back to Kilimani police station and really wait to see whether Babu will talk to us after finishing the process of writing a statement and also the process of interrogation, and get to know his fate today. Will he be allowed to go home, or he will remain in custody at Kilimani police station to wait to be taken to court on Monday? But for now, I'm still camping here at Galana Road. We want to see what is happening, whether the investigators will come back or they're done with the place. And remember, this big club is among a number of clubs that were shut down last year, around October last year. This is after the Environment and Land Court ordered the Nairobi County government and also the National Environment Management Authority to revoke their permits, because the residents who live around here, areas to do with Kilimani, had complained of the intensive noise that have been coming from these a number of clubs in this area, and they were shut down. But so far, I know a number of clubs have now been open, including Big Club was in operation, including Tavern. But we really don't know what transpired to the point that they really came back to business. But we still be camping here, and we'll be giving you more on anything that will transpire as far as this case is concerned. For now, I'm taking you back to studio.
Thank you, Vincent Odor, giving us an update on the case that is ongoing as we speak. The Member of Parliament for Embakasi East, that is Babu Owino, is under police custody at the Kilimani police station. He is going to be charged with attempted murder, and more details coming from that case will be coming to you as and when we receive them. Now to the coast, and there has been an ongoing security chiefs meeting there. I am told that President Uhuru Kenyatta is in attendance, and he is now speaking. Let's listen in.
Gracious enough that you conclude this by yourself giving them your vision for the security sector for the year. Before I do that, Your Excellency, let me take this opportunity to introduce the Head of Public Service to the regional team, Dr. Kenywa. Also introduce our brand new Chief Administrative Secretary, Honorable Dando. And I'm sure you will introduce them, but we have brand new CASs. Maybe you could stand, but I know those are brand new. They are attending their first official function, Your Excellency.
Well, President Uhuru Kenyatta is in attendance, and he's expected to address that meeting, which is a security chiefs meeting ongoing in Mombasa. Now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is urging for a level playing field amongst all stakeholders, including the judiciary, in order to ensure court cases achieve convictions and subsequent court orders are followed. Speaking at a press conference convened together with delegates from the European Union, Nuruddin Haji called for consultation concerted efforts in dealing with corruption cases without laying blame on any agency. Haji noted that his office is confident on the ability of the courts in convicting corrupt individuals, but cautioned Kenyans to allow the entire judicial process to run in instances where appeals are filed even after convictions are made. On its part, the EU stated it will collaborate with the local prosecuting agency in ensuring transnational crimes are dealt with.
Thank you and congratulations. Thank you, Good mentioning the role of the media.
We will get convictions, but remember that there is the process of appeal. And I don't want people to be disappointed when we get convictions at the magistrate level and people rush to the next level for appeal to the High Court and then the Court of Appeal. Because then the narrative will change. And the narrative will be, why are these people still outside there, or why have you allowed the appeal to take place? This is constitutional, it's a constitutional right. We have a Contempt of Court Act that was, however, pronounced to be unconstitutional by the judiciary. And because of that, we have no recourse to enforce it, from a criminal perspective. We had to revert back to the English law, which is civil in nature, and we are asking that we're in discussion with the Attorney General for that particular act of Contempt of Court Act to be brought back.
We stand hand in hand with the DPP and his staff through our programme, through the judicial cooperation which is often taking place on some of the complex transcontinental cases, where close cooperation between the judicial authorities in EU member states and the staff of the DPP and judicial authorities in Kenya should hopefully allow for progress to be made.
3 Kitui County government officials have been charged with abuse of office and fraudulent practice in procurement, among other offences relating to alleged misappropriation of over 891 million shillings. The 3 allegedly were involved in irregular award of various road and river drifts contracts in the 2015-2016 financial year. The 3 are Chief Officer of Finance June Mawia Munyao, Jeremiah Ngui Kisilu, and Rogers Macau Sunday, who are the chairman and secretary of the Tender Evaluation Committee, respectively. They were arrested yesterday by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption officials before being charged at the Machakos Anti-Corruption Court this morning. EACC has also directed other suspects in the case: Shadrach Muli Munyidhia, the former Chief Officer for Lands, Infrastructure and Urban Development, and Joshua Kalola Munyaka, the head of Supply Chain Management, to present themselves at the Commission's headquarters immediately to assist in investigations. That case is still ongoing in Machakos. To Kakamega County, in less than 24 hours, Bukungu Stadium will play host to pro-BBI supporters. This will be the second in the series of meetings expected to take place around the country to popularize the initiative launched by President Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Now, on Thursday, former Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale maintained that the parallel meeting organized by Luhya leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto will also go on as planned on the same day, that is Saturday the 18th in Mumias. Now, Halwale also dismissed the intended gathering at Bukungu Stadium, saying issues touching on Western Kenya should be left to the leadership of the region to discuss. Our man on the ground, Kennedy Morethi, is preparing to cover that live event for us tomorrow, and he now joins us with a live report. Ken, just last evening, the elders from the Luhya community resolved that the 2 contesting parties should meet with the aim of forestalling a potential showdown. Has this meeting happened, or is it likely to happen?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Gladys, there in Nairobi, and very many salams that are coming down here for you in Nairobi, and I'll come mention the specific people who have actually said hello to you. But to the subject matter of the day is that a few minutes just ago that have finished, there are leaders from Western Kenya led by Francis Atwoli, that is the Kotu Secretary General, who have just left here, the Bukungu Stadium, and they were tasked with planning tomorrow's event. And in their meeting here, they went around just to see what has been planned and what strategies have been put in place, just to make sure that everything and all systems go with regards to tomorrow's meeting. They have spoken to what should be happening tomorrow and with regards to the leaders who are going to attend this particular meeting tomorrow. And there has been a clarion call that anybody from this particular region who is a leader and will not be at this particular place here, which is the Bukungu Stadium, is not or is an enemy of the Luhya community. And that message has actually come out very strongly as they insisted that this meeting is nothing else other than a government project fully funded by the government. The clarion call also being that it is a marching order that came from President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga, and so they have the sole mandate of executing this particular process and seeing it to the very end. One of the things that also came out is that Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa was saying that tomorrow or by the end of tomorrow they should be presenting a document to the BBI steering committee, and this is what they say is going to be adopted as what the Western Kenya people are saying with regards to their share of the national cake. So this meeting, there has that been reverberation of that message that also Musalia Mudavadi, the ANC party leader, and Moses Wetangula, the Ford Kenya party leader, should be here. And if they do not come, then it will be upon them, because the assertion or the meeting or the resolutions that are going to come out of this particular meeting are going to be so important to this region. They have also dismissed that other meeting that is purportedly going to be held in Mumias as saying that that meeting will have no consequence, as the whole government-supported machinery will be here at the Bukungu Stadium. So that meeting, they are saying that is going to meet the sugarcane farmers will be of no consequence. But just before I went live for this particular broadcast, the chief whip of the National Assembly, that is Ben Washeli, has just called me, and they have told me they are at the police headquarters just to make sure that they are able to get that cancellation of their meeting tomorrow revoked and see whether they are still going to have that meeting. We'll be headed straight to the police headquarters here in Kakamega to hear what their voice is and what the resolution is going to be. If they are going to be denied that permit after all, what will be their next course of action? Because the day before yesterday, when we covered them in Nairobi, they were of the opinion whether that revocation of their meeting is in place or not, they will still go to have that meeting, because their important thing is that they want to hear what the local mwananchi wants and what ails them. But for this one, they said it is all about 2022 and installing leaders, which has actually even been denied in daylight. So we are here today, tomorrow, and the day after just to hear what the meeting is all about and what the outcome of that meeting. Will the people feel like they're in, or will they feel like they're out? Because some of them who we are speaking to are of the opinion that they really do want that document to read it for themselves. So Gladys, expect me in Nairobi with salams from the people here in Kakamega.
Thank you, Kennedy Murithi, speaking to us from Kakamega, exactly the home of salams. We receive them, and of course, looking forward to that event at Bukungu Stadium that we shall be covering for you live. Kennedy Murithi will be updating us as and when he gets details coming from that meeting. Now to other day top stories. And education officials in Nakuru County are expected to visit Mkulima Primary School in Kuresoi North to condole with them after 3 pupils died and 50 others injured following
turned deadly when lightning struck Mkulima Primary School. The pupils were heading out for track and field activities when they were asked by the teachers to take shelter from the rain in class.
Mwangaza ukatokea mara moja, mwangaza mkali sana, baadaye sauti kubwa sana ikagonga. Kila mtu akapagawa, tukashindwa la kufanya. Tulipopata nakapata kwamba kuna wanafunzi wengine wanalia, wengine wamezimia.
3 pupils have since been confirmed dead, while other pupils are receiving treatment at the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital and Kuresoi Health Center.
Watoto ni kama 50. ambao waliumia ni kama 50, lakini nambari inaweza kuwa imeongezeka kwa sababu kuna wengine walikuwa wanatibiwa, wengine
kuna mtu ametenda. Ni jambo ambalo hakuna mtu tunaweza uliza swali isipokuwa ni wale wazazi labda wamepoteza watoto wao waweze kujipa nguvu, kwa sababu hii ni kitu ambacho kimetendeka accidentally na hakuna mtu aliyepanga.
The local administration is now calling for the installation of lightning arresters in all learning institutions in the area. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Elsewhere, the government has stepped up efforts to mitigate the desert locust invasion, which has so far invaded 8 counties, causing serious damage to all types of plants. In an official communication from the government spokesperson, the government says the menace has caused a lot of concern, considering that the counties from the northern region, which have been hit by this invasion, were just beginning to recover from prolonged drought.
The desert locust invasion continues to cause havoc across the country as the number of invaded counties continues to rise. Although the Ministry of Agriculture remains confident that the situation will be contained, the words do not inspire confidence. Leaders from the places hit by the menace have come out to urge the government to declare locust invasion a national disaster. Cognizant of the challenges in locust control effort, the government says it has committed to forestall further spread of the locusts. The invasion could lead to ecological catastrophe, food insecurity, loss of livelihoods and wildlife. The government, however, says it has increased the number of experts deployed to the affected areas. It has also released 7 spraying aircraft and 2 surveillance aircraft, 3 vehicles mounted with sprayers, 18 motorized knapsack sprayers, 50 handheld ULV sprayers and 175 personal protective equipment have also been distributed to the affected areas. 4,700 litres of control pesticides for spraying have also been bought. The government has, however, called upon everyone to report to the nearby government official whenever the pest is sighted. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
To some business news, minority shareholders in companies. We shall get back to that story in a moment. As I mentioned, that the head of state is addressing a security stakeholders meeting in Mombasa. Let's listen in.
Another time as we start the new year. And as always, begin by thanking you because as every other Kenyan was relaxing and enjoying themselves, they managed to do so because of the work that you are doing during that period, and we truly appreciate and are very grateful and thankful for everything that you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I take this very early opportunity to thank all of you for the work that you are all doing each and every day, safeguarding Kenyans and the country at large, so that Kenyans can continue to enjoy peace and to go about their businesses without fear. And we gave tasks for the year. And I have followed very closely the progress made and how we have all performed. I take this opportunity to say that I am indeed happy with how you have undertook your work, how you have performed. However, as it is always said, success does not mean that we rest on our laurels or, for that matter, become complacent. For the threats to our country are dynamic, and we must remain vigilant, indeed in this year and in every coming year. I thank you, Waziri, for organizing this second edition of our annual National Security Review and Planning Conference. It is useful for us to review what we have done, for us to assess challenges that we are facing, but most importantly, what additional measures we need to take to ensure that our citizens are secure in light of the tremendous benefits of this conference. And indeed, as we said last year, and I confirm once again, this exercise shall be an annual exercise. Our most grave national security challenge, as you all know, is terrorism. And indeed, I applaud the efforts made by our multi-agency structure to preempt a very large number of planned attacks and terrorist operations. And I also recognize and applaud the individual acts of bravery by security officers who have faced the enemy directly and showed immense resolve that did the officers, their agency, and indeed our nation proud. Last year, I did indeed task the county commissioners and police commanders to upscale the intensity and efficacy of our security work and coordination. I did indeed ask you to hold more barazas to increase information flow from the public concerning terrorist operatives, recruiters, and propagandists, and this needs to be sustained, if not intensified, this year. In addition to you doing more to make communities feel safe from terrorist intimidation. This sense of safety and freedom from intimidation or retaliation from terrorist elements will encourage even more people to speak up and resist the tactics of terrorists. Last year, I ordered county commissioners to coordinate with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, headed by Ambassador Kimani, to ensure that every county has launched and is implementing a county action plan for the prevention and countering of violent extremism. I'm happy to note that that was indeed achieved. These efforts should rally our protection of communities, especially in the northeastern region and parts of the coast region, that, as we all know, have witnessed an escalation in terrorist attacks, typified by the targeting of public facilities, security officers, public transport vehicles, and critical infrastructure. The people of Kenya should rest assured that we will respond robustly and that our nation, Kenya, will and shall prevail. So to that end, today, I want to direct that the following actions be undertaken to immediately upgrade our response. Firstly, security officers are to mount operations to flush out terrorist operatives and all sleeper cells in our midst, especially in the northeastern and coastal regions. Secondly, all relevant officers, agencies, and personnel are to drive the determined implementation of the county action plans to prevent and counter violent extremism. Doing this will allow citizens to be more resilient against radicalization and terrorist propaganda. The implementation of these measures needs to be undertaken in a systematic and measurable way. And to that end, I will expect a report on the practical undertakings and efforts with respect to the same by the end of August of this year. Thirdly, the national government administrative officers and police are to engage local politicians, religious and opinion leaders within vulnerable communities as a proactive strategy to deny terrorism entry points into the radicalization, especially of our youth. They should utilize the prevention capabilities underlying the county action plans so as to ensure that local violent extremist networks and recruiters are denied, and I repeat, denied, any space to operate within communities. Lastly, I want you to further synergize the efforts, capabilities, and resources of national government administrative officers and the National Police Service to deliver on the common mandate of ensuring public safety and security for the country. As I said last year, there can be no longer room for silo mentality in our quest to make Kenya safer. Coordination and leveraging on synergies and economies of scale will ensure that our resources are optimally utilized and deployed. Indeed, I do believe that we have more than enough officers, and we are continuing to add equipment, that if we coordinate and cooperate, we can eliminate this evil. I want to be clear that those who shall continue to insist on silo mentality and resist working in a coordinated way within a multi-agency structure that has been set up should be reported, and action will be taken against them. There should be an immediate restoration and securing of affected key government services in education, health, public transport, and communication infrastructure in the affected regions. Nitarudia hiyo baadaye tukiwa peke yetu. Nasema hii. It is crucial for security officers in hotspots to undergo also continuous training that adapts them to the changing trends in preventing and fighting terrorist-related activities. This includes pre-deployment training for all officers posted to such operation areas. Additionally, steps must be taken for the immediate vetting, training, and kitting of our National Police Reservists to augment and support the mainstream police operations. I also want all the security formations represented here today to undertake the strongest possible measures against actors and dynamics that enable terrorists to operate in or against our country. Foremost of these must be ensured. Specifically, any and all means by which the enemy is able to generate income from Kenya or to receive funds through our country, including contraband and illicit trade, must be brought to an immediate end. Smuggling and contraband from neighboring countries directly funds Al-Shabaab, which on the other side of the border illegally levies taxes that they then use to sustain their operations. Friends, this must stop. I also expect more of the major sponsors of terrorism to be dealt with, not least by ensuring that they are listed nationally and internationally so that there is a tangible impact on their businesses. We urgently need stronger multinational frameworks to counter terrorism financing structures in our entire East African region and the Horn of Africa. I expect action on this front at the national, regional, as well as the international levels through existing channels, even as government engages with our partners to develop enhanced frameworks. I further task you to target recruiters for terrorist groups as well as radicalizers and any institutions or organizations that they utilize. I appreciate the coordinated training on counterterrorism and terrorism prevention that has been provided to the regional security and intelligence committees and the county and sub-county security and intelligence committees, especially in hotspot counties. This focus should be sustained and indeed enhanced in this new year. In addition, I want police and other security officers in hotspots to undergo, as I said before, continuous training that strengthens their skills and resolve in facing and defeating our enemies, particularly in situations that call for combat capability when directly deployed in areas targeted by our enemies. Here, a key outcome was that our abilities were noted and appreciated globally. I expect us to continue developing global centers of excellence throughout our counterterrorism chain, and I urge all national ministries and agencies that engage with foreign partners to link their engagement with our counterterrorism needs. In particular, they must seek to move away from ad hoc arrangements and instead build long-lasting strategic partnerships with bilateral and multilateral partners that provide long-term resources and skills to our counterterrorism and security agencies. My administration, friends, will continue to enable them to tackle this threat. And even as we speak, we are bringing on additional equipment. In addition, we all know that far more important than hardware is the human element. And in appreciation of this, I continue to urge the Public Service Commission, the National Police Service Commission, and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to structure a way. Now, by the way, did you watch one in? So watalipwa lini?
The payment now will be discussed in session, but we have given the advice.
Bas, we will work with them by mwezi hii iwe mwezi ya kwanza walipwe. Wanafanya kazi yao. Namna hiyo. Hey, jameni. Hey. On our part, we shall continue to endeavor to provide enhanced resources to further operationalize and facilitate security operations. One specific measure is to support and expand the vehicle leasing program to cover the lower operational levels and therefore ease the pressure on mobility. Let me also take note of the following successful reforms to the National Police Service and the Prison Service that should multiply our effectiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, we have so many Kenya Police Service and so many administration police service officers that have now joined general duty police. These numbers should lead directly to the better coverage of areas prone to general criminality. Secondly, there was the establishment and deployment of Critical Infrastructure Protection Unit, CIPU, commanders on the regional, county, and sub-county levels. I want these units to work more closely also with private security industry and coordinate with multi-agency counterterrorism agencies so as to provide effective cover with regard to potential terrorist targets. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to note that Kenya's first all-female commando unit has been established, deployed, and is proving to be extremely effective. I appreciate also the integration of assets, liabilities, and other resources from Police Service Command to the Kenya Police Service, and this has been completed, and geomapping of police stations, posts, and bases has been done. I also note the effective integration of police posts, outposts, patrol bases under the Officer Commanding Station Ward Commander, and I want to initiative by acquiring police and national government administrative officers' uniforms from local manufacturers such as National Youth Service, Rivertex, and the Kitui textile industry. So officers, I want you to embrace the fact that our tempo, high, aggressive, and implemented program by security personnel whose equipment, morale, and training we shall progressively improve. I want you all to pursue our strategies with determination, knowing that you are fully backed by me and also by 47 million Kenyans. Last year, I instructed you to work under a one government approach. And I want to confirm that I have noted and appreciated the Big Four agenda. I want you to take note of the speech that I made on Tuesday last. In it, I clearly outlined that the one government approach will need to be utilized better than ever before in the implementation of the intentions that I laid out for the nation for the next few months. Your determined and coordinated action will be required to combat the black market and illicit trade, while at the same time fostering the increased circulation of money in the economy, as well as the increase. It is also required to take on cartels, particularly in agriculture, to ensure that the producers in our economy are protected from being intimidated and robbed of the fruits of their labor. And in this regard, hakuna kusema huyu ni huyu, huyu ni huyu. Anyway, tuendelee namna hiyo. Kenyans affected by natural disasters such as the heavy rains and the ongoing Locust invasion must be supported. The other critical intent that I laid out to the nation is the need to sustain and to accelerate the fight against corruption. And in this regard, I have directed for an intelligence-led review of the cartels that are driving corruption in our country as the basis for multi-agency action to make sure that such actors are brought to book. In undertaking your work, therefore, I expect you to combat corruption with extreme prejudice. Your agencies and personnel must be demonstrably corrupt-free and be visible and undeniable anti-corruption advocates and ambassadors. I also encourage you to perform your duties and to discharge your mandates without fear or favor, and at all times in strict conformity with the law. I urge you all to especially guard against and to resist any interference by politicians or leaders who would wish to leverage on their power and influence so as to undermine or misdirect your work. I also expect you to take immediate action with regard to individuals who use public platforms to incite Kenyans or use hate speech under the guise of politics. We must not allow incitement to divide our people or frustrate our efforts to deepen the unity and cohesion of our country. In terms of food security, you will recall last year that I tasked you with the effort to ensure the conservation and protection of our water towers and vulnerable ecosystems. You must keep this up throughout this year as a top priority. In terms of environmental conservation, the government has committed to the United Nations General Assembly to increase Kenya's forest cover to at least 10% by the year 2022. This means allocating more resources to support reforestation and afforestation efforts, and you all have a very important role to play in this. All regional commissioners, county commissioners, and indeed all those under you must ensure reinvigoration of regional and county environmental committees to ensure regulation, conservation, and protection of all our vital water towers, gazetted forests, fragile ecosystems, and riparian reserves in the country. You are also expected to mobilize Kenyans to participate in reforestation initiatives and to also deal firmly with people and organizations. With regard to education, I expect national government administrative officers to work very closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure that the ministry's efforts to safeguard 100% transition from primary to secondary education and other seminal programs are closely supported through your monitoring and reporting systems. Upgrading and building of schools, as well as the National Integrated Education Management Systems registration, should have your full support. I also expect more to be done by security agencies working with the Education Ministry to enable and ensure student security and safety, and to protect our students from crime, narcotics, radicalization, and other threats to their well-being. But equally, towards that end, I need to note and to thank you all, including the Minister and his staff, for the efforts that you have made continuously to ensure that our examinations are done in an open, transparent manner. The manner you have cooperated and worked together, kila mtu ajue, ukirudi kwako, kwa region yako, kwa county yako, kwa sub-county yako, we must know and you must have on hand and available watoto ni ngapi, na wale ambao hawako shule, na wale ambao hawako shule. It is no longer the responsibility ati tuseme mzazi, hapana. Responsibility ni yenu kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mtoto ako shule. Na kama mtoto hako shule, lazima mtoto aende shule, lakini lazima watoto wasome. Tumekubaliana hiyo? Namna hiyo. I also note that the national government's administrative officers have also played an important role in vetting of farmers to receive subsidized farm inputs and also to the supply of farm produce to the National Cereals and Produce Board. Na tutaendelea namna hiyo. This is vital work that directly improves the day-to-day lives of ordinary Kenyans. I will expect you to work effectively as national government administrative officers to provide the logistical support for the distribution of relief food in response to disasters and emergencies. You will also, friends, be expected to work harder to promote universal health coverage by mobilizing NHIF uptake as well as other insurance packages related to comprehensive medical health cover and group life insurance. I also appreciate the determination to issue identity cards and birth certificates faster and to combat any corruption in these processes. This directly supports the administration in the expansion of our universal health coverage programs, as well as in fostering security and increasing the general efficacy of public service delivery. So I direct that you must achieve the same-day service standard in the issuance of birth certificates, identity cards, passport, by urging and tasking greater coordination in service delivery in line with the executive orders that I have just issued. Executive Orders number 3 of 2014 on strengthening the national government coordination function at the county level. Executive Order number 1 of 2014 on the county service delivery coordination committees. And Executive Order number 1 of 2018 have all strengthened the capability of the national government administrative and security officers to manage security and the coordination of service delivery across the country. Equally important is the Executive Order number 1 of 2019 on the coordination and implementation of national government development programs and projects. I want the committees established pursuant to these executive orders, including the National Development Implementation and Communication Cabinet Committee and its technical, regional, and county subsidiaries to become even more coordinated and accountable. We all have an important role to play in pushing hard for efficiency, coordination, and fighting leakages as we implement the Big Four agenda. And in that regard, outstanding achievers will be recognized institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have told you always, you are the tip of the sharp spear that we are going to wield to destroy our enemies And you are also that mighty shield that protects our people. I want you to work in 2020 with a sense of greater commitment and resolve. Let no one or anything stand in your way when it comes to carrying out your duties and implementing the tasks I have outlined here today. I will expect the Cabinet Secretary Interior to report to me on a regular basis on the progress that we are making as we move forward. And I expect him to report to me on the successes that you are making and not the failures. And I want to say here, as I said, I really want to take this opportunity to thank you as a collective and individually, because I know many of you have gone out of their way to do that which is necessary. But I must also be very clear that I have given the we want to reward those who do good, but equally friends, na tukubaliane. Ile story ati ukifanya makosa hapa ati unakuwa transferred pale, hiyo hakuna. Ikiwa ni makosa, jameni jitayarishe kwenda nyumbani. I think that is fair. Au mnasemaje wenzangu? See, that is fair. Yes? We will not be transforming incompetence. We will not be transferring corruption from one region to another. No. No. Get in, no. Yeah? We will not be doing that anymore. We will not be doing that. We want to go on a platform where we reward. Same thing I expect from you, my friends, is the same thing I want you to expect for those who serve under you. Right? Hii maneno ya kusema kwa sababu sijui tuko na Police Service Commission, ako wapi mzee wangu huyu, na ni sawa na tunaheshimu. Yeah? Kama uko na officer ambaye anafanya kazi kwako na hatumiki vile mnataka na anahitajika kutumika, tumia huyu. Wewe hakuna haja ya kusema ati mnaongea mingi. You're not firing him. Aende kwake. Wewe unasema huyu cannot work in my station. Aende. Hao ni namna gani? Yes, huyo mtumie aende afanye. Na nyinyi kama mko na DC huko ambaye hajui sub county anafanya kazi, tumia kirogo. Wewe hujamfuta, you have done no mistake. Wewe umesema tu huwezi kufanya kwangu. Mimi nataka mtu kwangu ambaye atafanya kazi kulingana na vile nimeamurisha. You take action. Sio kucheka na mtu ati namna hii. Hakuna mambo ya kucheka na mtu. Utoke, enda Nairobi, na ofisi ya Police Service Commission iko huko. Ujitetee huko, lakini mimi na alafu napiga simu alikuwa nitumie ofisa mwingine. Nimefuta hii mimi kwangu. Vile mtafanya na yeye, hiyo ni shauri yenu. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Kwa sababu hivyo ndivyo mimi nitafanya na nyinyi. Kwa hivyo hakuna haja ya wewe uchukue mzigo ambaye sio wako. Unaona? Au ni namna gani? Kama kitu imefanyika, wewe ukuwa umechukua hatua mapema. In concluding my remarks, let me once again, on behalf of a very grateful nation, convey our ever eternal gratitude to you for everything that you do for all of us. Thank you, na Mungu awabariki, na Mungu awalinde nyote. Nafikiri tumemaliza kamera, mutembee. Nitarudi sasa tuongee ile tunataka kuongea. Haya. Sorry, let me introduce you kidogo tafadhali.
That was President Uhuru Kenyatta addressing security chiefs sitting that has been ongoing in Mombasa, in State House, Mombasa. And of course, he's emphasized many issues that have to do with security. But of course, one that stands out is him telling the security chiefs to go into the new year with a sense of commitment and resolve in discharging their duties. Definitely many issues. He's out terrorist attacks. So it was at a time where everybody was expecting to hear something to do with security, and I think he has addressed many pointers, and that breakdown will be coming to you in our subsequent bulletins. Thank you for staying with NTV. My name is Gladys Gachanja. Have a good weekend.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
Welcome to NTV Today. You are just in time. The live link will be done by Muledan, and sports has a lot to be shown. And Sean Cardovillis
keeping you up to date with all you need to know as and when it happens.
It's not been a very good morning in the country. We've had a very grisly accident.
In clear context to all the relevant issues.
Reacquire the property they've gotten with our looted money and save this country for my child and daughter Teko and the many children.
From our studios to the ground where the action is live.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
Welcome to NTV Today. You are just in time. The live link will be done by Muledan, and sports has a lot to be shown. And Sean Cardovillis
keeping you up to date with all you need to know as and when it happens.
It's not been a very good morning in the country. We've had a very grisly accident.
In clear context to all the relevant issues.
Reacquire the property they've gotten with our looted money and save this country for my child and daughter Teko and the many children.
From our studios to the ground where the action is live.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
Welcome to NTV Today. You are just in time.